By the end of this video, you'll know if it's a good idea to purchase Bitcoin right now or if you should look into another investment or another cryptocurrency. Stick around. For the first time ever, Bitcoin has hit $1 trillion market cap, and it's the first cryptocurrency to ever do that at $55,000. So in this video, I'll share my thinking on what happens if you invest in Bitcoin at these current prices and how I'm investing and using my strategy that I think is going to outperform Bitcoin for the rest of the year. So Bitcoin passing $1 trillion is huge. A lot of companies have been paying attention to Bitcoin recently, and this is going to add even more legitimacy to Bitcoin, and not just BTC. It's going to add legitimacy to the whole entire cryptocurrency space, and this is huge. So as Bitcoin passes this $1 trillion mark, we can expect to see even more companies looking to invest. We see Bitcoin is now in the ranks with companies like Tesla, Amazon, Google. So a lot of companies are looking to actually add this asset into their balance sheet. Who wouldn't at this point? We already saw at the beginning of the year, a lot of companies were thinking about hopping into Bitcoin. We saw Tesla hop straight in with $1 billion purchase. With this news, we're going to see a lot of companies actually go forward and announce that they are now adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet. Here's why this is important for you. Before they can do this, if you invest right now, let's say you do this at the all-time high of $55,000 and you invest, you can possibly catch the ride up as these institutions start making their announcements that they have bought Bitcoin. And what I've been noticing is that these companies do not go in half-stepping when they start their purchases. They're going in with $1 billion, $500 million, and there is only 21 million Bitcoin left. With the supply starting to dry up, I can speculate, and we all can speculate, that it's possible that Bitcoin is going to see a much higher price than this $55,000 mark. It's very possible that we could see $100,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year. So if you are happy with the returns of a 2x or nearly a 2x in your Bitcoin investment, I'd say to think about it, consider it. It may be a good move to make. However, at this price, there could be persons, early investors, starting to take a little bit of profits, and we could see a small correction after we smash through this humongous milestone. But I wouldn't get discouraged if I go ahead and I start buying Bitcoin at these prices, because it's showing itself to be a strong asset. With all of these investors starting to pile in, we can now say that Bitcoin is most likely going to be here to stay. It's going to hang around for years and years to come. So whatever your purchasing price might be here, it can possibly continue to grow. That's what a lot of investors keep in mind when they want to purchase Bitcoin at $55,000. So with the expectation that it could be $100,000, you may look at Bitcoin and say it's cheap. And if it's cheap to you and it makes sense, then go ahead, pull that trigger and go ahead and get some Bitcoin. You may want a dollar cost average just to help with if there's any short-term corrections as it smashes through this new all-time high. I'm one of those persons who do not own any Bitcoin, but I am excited that Bitcoin has now hit this record because it's a lot of free marketing that's going on in CNN, Fox, all of those guys that push news like this. Bitcoin hit $1 trillion. I'm telling you, all throughout this week, that's all we're going to see. All of the persons who doubted Bitcoin, all the retail investors who doubted Bitcoin, they're now going to look like maybe it's time to get in. And this is a great thing for all of us who may not have Bitcoin, but we're in a space because it's going to continue to drive the price of Bitcoin up. And as prices of Bitcoin goes up, we can expect that some of those profits that people are starting to make is going to be reinvested into the top 10. Now, here's why you may want to look into some of these top 10 cryptocurrencies. One, some of them have been there for a long time in the top 10. So you don't have to stress and worry about, is this cryptocurrency going to zero? It may not have been around as long as Bitcoin, but it's been around for years and years, and it has a strong team. It has a strong CEO, projects like Cardano, of course. And they're sitting at a much lower market cap at about $28 million, and it's only at 92 cents to get one Cardano at this point. I think it's going to be much easier for Cardano to do a 2x than Bitcoin. And with all of the announcements that are coming out, with the innovation that's happening on Cardano, we can see this 2x come about just like that. It can happen at the end of this month. It can happen in February for all we know. We've already seen it grow 400% in such a short amount of time. Whereas Bitcoin, it's moving slowly and steadily, and there's no fundamental real news that actually changes what Bitcoin is doing. The only real fundamental news that's coming out is new investors, new partnerships, stuff like that. You understand what I'm saying, and you kind of see where the logic is coming with why I would want to invest in some of these top 10 cryptocurrencies as opposed to going in Bitcoin at this current price. And it's not only Cardano that has the chance to outperform Bitcoin. We've been seeing BNB, it ran on an extreme run. It's at $300 today, up from about $40 at the beginning of January. That's crazy. We've seen Polkadot that's also been on a huge run, and as Bitcoin continues to reach these new heights, we'll also continue to see these top 10 cryptocurrencies just go crazy. I would personally consider, if you're not able to get a full Bitcoin, you may want to look into some of these other projects. Now, if you just got tons and tons and tons of cash and you want to just put it in a safe place, a relatively safe place, I'd go for the Bitcoin. But if you're coming in with a little bit less money and you're looking for higher possible returns, I'd look into those top 10 cryptocurrencies. And if you expand your view outside of those top 10, we have some assets that are not even $1 billion in market cap. We got assets like Digibyte. We got assets like Zilliqa that just crossed the $1 billion mark. Those things are going to go crazy and massively outperform Bitcoin in the next few weeks. If I brought you any value with this video, go ahead and hit that like so we can beat this YouTube algorithm. It helps get this video in circulation so persons know that there are assets out here right now that could possibly change your life. And comment below, let me know, are y'all buying Bitcoin at these prices, or what other cryptocurrency are y'all looking at?